tonight. I'm at the Waterside Bar and Kitchen in West Bridgford in Nottingham. The River Trent is about 50 metres to my right. The City Ground is right behind me, a couple of minutes walk, maybe not even that actually, and Trent Bridge Cricket Ground is a couple of hundred metres to my left over there. In actual fact, these premises were on my patch when I first moved to Nottingham in 1992. It was under different ownership then. It was a completely different premises, in fact. I think Dave and Les, who are clients of mine now, took this place about 20 years ago, give or take. Big Forest fans, so it was a big temptation for them to take the premises on. And they've recently undertaken an extensive refurbishment of the premises and submitted a minor variation as part of that process. And I'm here today to talk about minor variations to licensed premises. I've previously done a talk on variations generally. This is actually specifically about when people are undertaking changes to the layout of the premises that don't increase the licensable area. And under those circumstances, certainly an application is capable of being dealt with by way of a minor variation. Whether an application to vary a licence is capable of being dealt with by means of a minor variation is fundamentally down to whether you are seeking to increase the licensable area. If you're not, and if you're simply looking to, for example, move the bar, alter where the toilets are located, or even in relation to this particular application where this steel and glass structure, which is a conservatory, was erected but still falls within what was previously part of the licensable area, then certainly in those circumstances an application is capable of being dealt with by way of a minor variation. Ultimately that's a matter for the licensing authority to determine, and they would certainly in some circumstances, in many circumstances, consult relevant responsible authorities in relation to any application that's been submitted. What are the advantages of a minor variation over a full variation? Well, the application fee is less. There's no requirement to place an advert in a local newspaper. The consultation period is less, and there's less scope for objections from members of the public. And so for all those reasons, if an application is capable of being dealt with by way of a minor, it's certainly advantageous for a licence holder to deal with it by that method. So I know I've just said that if you're not increasing the licensable area, then that's certainly capable of being dealt with by way of a minor variation. I was very careful, I am a lawyer after all, to use that word, capable, because I can think of a number of examples where in actual fact an applicant hasn't increased the licensable area. An issue has been taken with the application in terms of it not being appropriate to be dealt with by way of a minor variation. Some examples I can think of off the top of my head is where an applicant has increased the overall size of the bar, and in that instance, particular licensing authority concerned said that as a consequence of that, more drinks could be sold over the bar, and so that was capable of undermining the licensing objectives. I can also think conversely of examples of where an applicant has reduced the size of the bar, and as a consequence of that, the licensing authority has said, well, that means you can get more people in the premises. So again, they rejected a minor variation on that basis. I think both of those arguably are a bit OTT, but ultimately that's ultimately down to the particular licensing authority and their evaluation of the application. I can also think of examples where, for example, I think this is entirely reasonable, by the way, is where fire escapes are being relocated. Any means of egress from the premises is clearly capable, in some instances at least, of undermining the licensing objectives, and so again that needs to be dealt with by way of a full variation. And I think what's quite topical at the moment is a lot of premises are having dispense units within their outlets, and in those particular instances, some people have dealt with those by way of a minor, and then following that, responsible authorities have been down to the premises and deemed it to be an inappropriate way of dealing with it, because clearly there are issues around checking or age verification and serving people who are drunk with remote dispense units that aren't manned. So my overarching advice to anybody in these circumstances is to consult with the licensing authority before an application is submitted. If you don't submit a minor variation, then consequences can be fairly significant for the business. First of all, you're in breach of the authorisation, and so that's certainly capable of an offence under Section 136 of the Licensing Act. And furthermore, a Section 19 closure notice could be served on the premises as well. So it's very important that if you are undertaking, and I've frequently encountered situations where applicants have undertaken a refurb of a premises, they've not submitted a minor variation, and then find themselves in difficulty. So if you are undertaking any alterations to the premises, please firstly liaise with your licensing authority, check with them whether they feel the application is capable of being dealt with by way of a minor variation, and perhaps in many instances it would be appropriate to take legal advice to do that, and before you do that. Certainly from my point of view, I was at Eldridge Pope, and when I had my own bars and restaurants, I think I undertook about 30 refurbishments during that time, hugely exhausting every single one. I always warn people, if they've never done a refurb on a pub before, I can guarantee them two things: one, it won't finish on time, and secondly, it will go over budget. Certainly my experience is on every occasion I did a refurb, that was what happened. They take your life over while they're ongoing, but it's a great feeling at the end when you can see the rewards of your work. And I have to say, this place looks incredible. It's just completely blown me away how different it looks from how it looked before, and I don't doubt it will do extremely well. Thank you.